I appreciate it, Paul, for asking me to come and speak. I know a couple of people in the room, and Michael Butler, I appreciate it. Giving me an opportunity to share a little bit about what I am. I'm running for state rep in the 114 district as a Republican. And to give you a little background on me, I have had a painting business when I was younger. I was in the painting business, owned a painting company. Retired out of that and got into the insurance business back in '79. Still in the insurance business, in the financial market. So always work straight commission. So I get a little befuddled and a little aggravated sometimes when I'm working with someone that they want to take breaks, they don't want to do this, they don't want to do that. Work till the job's done. You know, that's what I did from 6 days a week. I figured Sunday was a day of rest, so I would take Sundays off. I have 2 kids, been married to my wife, like I said, for 47 years. 2 grandchildren, one's in the, well, they're both grandkids are in University of Utah in Salt Lake City. My son lives out there, and then one son lives here close to me. But we moved here back in '85, still in the insurance business, doing the marketing for that. I opened my office over on West Boulevard. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be in politics. But sometimes you just get aggravated and you say it's time to do something. If no one else is going to step up, I'll do it. Did I know what I was doing? No, not at all. Because you have a lot to learn. And you know, the people that make all these wild promises that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to give you this, we're going to do this. Well, it sounds good, but it's not going to happen, generally, because it takes, on my board right now, I'm Clair Township Supervisor, there's 5 of us. I'm the final vote. But if you don't have 2 others with me, then we're not going to get anything done. I ran for Clair Township trustee back in 2009. There was a group of us got together that said, hey, the people that are in there now have been in there forever, seemed like forever. And the gentleman came and recruited me to run as a trustee. I said, okay, what's a trustee? So we went out, we knocked on doors and won the election. There was 5 of us. We all won the election. So whenever you look at doing, that's the only thing I know in business is go knock on doors, meet people face to face. And that's helped me out in the campaigning and also getting signatures. If someone asks me what I am, what, you know, Democrat or Republican or whatever, I'll tell them. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. They'll tell you to get lost if they don't like what you're saying. That's all right. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion as to what they want to do. You can do that as long as you're honest with them. I feel that you'll be all right. Very few of them get really, really mad and cuss me out or anything, but they just say, no, you're in the wrong party. Okay, it's your opinion. So as a trustee from 2009 to 2013, in 2012, I saw that Senator Claiborne had never had anyone run against him for a long time. I said, I'll do it. There again, didn't know what it took to run that kind of a campaign. Fortunately for me, I've been blessed with a lot of good friends that helped me go out and get signatures, go out and campaign for me, join me in parades. You know, so that helped out a lot. So we got all the signatures we needed, ran against Senator Claiborne, which was a majority leader, which I didn't know. Didn't make any difference. I'm the kind of guy that says, my focus is right here what I have to do. You do what you have to do, I'll do what I'm not concerned about what you're doing. I'm going to do my job. So I think we lost, he beat by about 20 percentage points. So that's all right. So then I ran for Clair Township Supervisor, won that position in 2013. All of us were new in our position. Me as a supervisor, I had all new trustees, new clerk, new tax assessor, the whole bit. We were all new. So we were all learning. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the way you look at it, we had a couple of people that their agenda was they've known each other for a long time, and it was to nitpick the whole time in the meetings and try to disturb the meetings. We've had to threaten to have both of them thrown out, have one of them thrown out. It was 4 years, baptismal by fire. And that was a good thing because I learned a lot during those 4 years. So the next term, I ran one supervisor again. This time, I'm the only one on the board. There again, had all new board members. New clerk, new highway commissioner, new trustees. I was the only one new. So it's back into the break-in point of getting people familiar with what the township does. There's a lot of things that people think that we do, that we don't do. We're supposed to be nonpartisan. Unfortunately, we are nonpartisan in this board. We're elected to serve the township, regardless of where you live, what you do, what your politics. You need something done, and it's in our realm to do it. I don't know on some of your things, Paul, whether it's in our realm or not. But if it is, then we do it. It doesn't matter who you voted for or what political organization you're with. To give you an idea of some of the job responsibilities, as a township supervisor, I oversee a sewer operation with 100 miles of sewer lines, 16 lift stations and 1 sewer plant. Oversee the billing and collections for 6,000 sewer accounts. We oversee office operations. We oversee the maintenance of 2 parks and 3 tennis courts. Oversee the general assistance program. Serves as the chairman of the board of trustees. Serves as the treasurer for the township and road district funds. Manages 7 full-time employees. Prepare an annual budget. Prepares annual tax levy. Reviews and approves the bills. Reviews and approves sewer billing adjustments, investigates sewer backups and coordinates insurance claims, prepares the Board of Trustees meeting agendas and information packets, negotiates contracts and agreements, oversees capital improvement projects, meets with employees, citizens, attorneys, engineers, insurance agents, and service providers on various topics. Makes sure the township is in compliance with state and federal laws and regulations. Manages grants for sewer and park projects, and serves as a Freedom of Information Officer. It's a few of the things that I have to do. The law was just passed here recently that the clerk has to attest now to the bills and my signature when they come through. Before, I was the only one that signed the checks. So for the road commissioner and myself, any bills that come through, I would sign the checks, which that's not a good thing. The trustees had to approve the bills before I could sign them. And to give you an example of that, we had back in 2014 or 15, we had a situation to where the budget was approved for our road commissioner, but during the approval process, the state law says that we shall approve the road commissioner's budget, but we have line item control over what he can get. He wanted to hire another employee. Well, the board felt that he didn't need it, so we didn't give him enough money for that. He went ahead and hired him, ran out of money in January or February, I don't remember which month it was. Well, our fiscal year ends March 31st. So they can't pay you. You don't have the money in your line item. The board wouldn't approve a transfer and appropriations. So there was no money to pay him because he went against what the board wanted to do in the first place. We didn't have any road workers right in the course of the winter when we needed them most until the next fiscal year, and we got a new budget approved. He ended up going ahead and suing us using township funds to sue the township. And the township had to use the funds back to stand up against it. We won. We won because state law says that we do have authority over line items. We shall approve his budget, but not line items. So that was an interesting. That was part of that interesting first 4 years that we had. So some of the other things that I've done in the past is I've reduced taxes by about 15 to 18% on real estate taxes my first year as supervisor in 2013. We've kept them at that rate throughout the remainder. And we're still keeping them at that rate. So I haven't raised the real estate taxes at all. Also, we set salaries for elected officials every 4 years. All right? I've been able to reduce salaries of elected officials by 20%. My 2 terms. That includes my salary. All right? I'm a firm believer that, you know, we're servants. We serve the people that elected us. We shouldn't be making a ton more than what they're making, and benefits like crazy. So we've done that for you. Now also, I've invested in the infrastructure. Over $1,200,000 in sewer lines, upgrading lift stations, to make sure in the first, let's see, up to probably 2011 to 2013, there was maybe $200,000 that was invested in infrastructure, so we needed it pretty badly. And the thing is, I look back at the numbers and I think, okay, I've reduced taxes, I've reduced the salaries, I reduced sewer bills. How can we do this? Let me share something with you here. Beginning balance as of 3/31/13 when I took office was $4,060,000, $60,037.91. If you know how to handle the money and watch what you're doing, you don't go out and spend it needlessly. The ending balance as of 3/31/19, $5,130,000, $14. So we didn't lose money. We've been able to reduce some of the overtime just for the simple fact that the guys don't want overtime in the sewer department, because that means they got to come out on Saturdays, Sundays, evenings. They don't want that. So we try to take care of them and build into things that repair things before it breaks and to upgrade our system. So it's helped in that respect. The people like it because it's not backing up into their basement when we have problems, and we still have some problems that we still are looking at. We're still maintaining and doing everything that we can to alleviate the situation, but you can't alleviate it totally. When you get 6 or 7 inches of rain in an hour, you're going to have backups. All right? It's an act of God. We didn't know about the problem, so we're not responsible as far as the township is concerned. If we would have known about it prior to the backup and we didn't fix it, then yes, then it would be our fault. But it wasn't. Just to give you an example in real estate taxes, looking at my tax bill for the township, the 2015 rate was 0.05170. In comparison, Belleville High School was 2.155. A huge difference between what we're charging and what the school system's charging. All right? We need schools, but we also need good roads. We need the taxes do not go to pay the elected officials' salaries. That's all done by the user fees. Wait a minute. Let me back up. No, I take that back. The taxes do go to pay the elected officials' salaries. The user's fees pays the sewer, all the sewer work and everything that we're doing. So that helps out. We just try to run a tight ship. If we don't have the money, we don't spend it. We've used grants to help us out with our parks. We've redone Loop Creek Park. I don't know whether y'all are familiar with that. It's over on the east end of Belleville. We've put in 2 new playgrounds, we put in walking trails, expanded the parking lot, put in pavilions so there's family use. We've extended Centennial Park up there. We've made a children's nature playground area out of that. So that helps out tremendously. It's all for the township, for the residents, for all the residents to enjoy. That's our main goal of that, is to do what's right for the township, regardless of where you live, regardless of your politics. We're there for one reason, to do what's right for you. You know, I was told a long time ago, when you do a speaking engagement, you stand up, you speak up, and you shut up. So I'm done. Good. So, You might ask questions. I'll take questions. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you're running for the 114th?
Yes.
And then, so I see on your bid it says one change, vote change.
Right.
So what things do you see as being a predominant issue in the 114th? And what steps are you kind of proposing, and what way are you going about trying to affect that change?
Well, a very good question. That as someone that's been, not in the 114 or a state rep or anything of that nature for a while, but know how the decision process goes.
Understands bureaucracy.
Right. It is, and you can I can promise you anything. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go up there and hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer. It's a 2-year term. It's going to take 1 year just to figure out how you're going to get around.
Then you're going to get funded
right.
For the next year.
Yeah. So I can. I mean, that's true. You know, I'd like to say I will be a conservative voice up there, and I think that's what people are looking for. I don't want to spend your money. I think you're better off spending your money. Take it in your own pocket. I firmly believe that. If you want something, you don't spend money. I do budgets every year. I don't have to spend all my money in my budget. It'll carry over. So if I have a project that I don't get done, that money is going to carry over. I use grants as much as possible. Even though grants aren't free money, there are money. I'm just getting a portion of it back to help out on my projects. That's all it is. So that's why I would just be a conservative voice.
I can understand it. And then if I could just have one more follow-up question. I'm in the cannabis industry.
Okay.
And obviously cannabis is a real big topic
right.
for a lot of communities here in Illinois. The lawmakers just passed it. You know, if you were to be elected, you'd be going into that state government that kind of recognizes it while dealing with a lot of local municipalities in your district that might not. I guess my question to you is, what is your stance on cannabis? And then, you know, are you willing to be open to the thoughts of your constituents in that regard, or are you kind of more of a conservative approach to that
okay. I do some volunteer work with the Paralyzed Veterans of America out at JB and at John Cochran. And as far as medicinal purposes, I think cannabis can do wonders.
Absolutely.
As far as recreational, nah, I'm not for recreational use.
You know, and it's not for obviously it's not for everybody, but you know, 96%
right.
of the country agrees that medically we should, you know, get that
right.
access. And you work with veterans, and you probably have seen amazing things with cannabis and the veterans, and I have as well.
Yeah.
And I can kind of understand the sentiment with the recreational. I just hope that, you know, we kind of uphold the sentiment of the constituents, whichever way it goes. If you were to get in that position, that's, you know, the only thing I guess I would throw your way is to hope that you would kind of play to the constituencies' wants and requests in this industry.
Well, yeah, I look at it as something similar that if everyone's jumping off a bridge, you're going to jump off. Are you going to stand firm on what you believe? No, I'll stay here and stay alive. You know, there are situations that you can bend a little, and that may be seen. But my personal thoughts are, right now, it should be for medicinal only. And 95% of the people want it. They elected me. It would be a tough choice. I would have to look very deep.
Well, I mean, I should note that 96% is only with medical. That the recreationally nationwide we're looking at approximately 66%.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate your candor
yeah.
with that question and standing by your morals too. You know, you have
right.
your beliefs and just stand
sure.
by them. Don't
right.
You know, on certain things. But
that's what I say. Somebody can ask me. I tell you my thoughts. You know, and that's all I can do. You know, you look at the free stuff that everybody's promising. Forget the free stuff. It's not free. The candy you give out, somebody's got to spend $100 for it. Somebody had to go to work to earn the $100 to spend the $100. Your employer had to pay you the $100. So it's not free. Yes, sir.
I had a question. One of the other big movers and shakers in the state of Illinois is now to separate Chicago from the rest of the state. It's 51st state. Or there's a few other different mechanisms in play for separating parts of the state. So Representative Holbrook and Skillhorn, there's a few other folks that have drafted legislation. Would that be something that you would support? Separating Chicago?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. there was, I mean, you know, good, bad, or otherwise, yeah, I would. The other thing that I see in working with townships and municipalities, some of y'all may not know this, but if you live in a township and a municipality takes care of your sewer needs and your waste, then that municipality can charge those residents up to 1.5 times, 2 times more than they charge a residents of municipalities that lives inside the city limits. So last election, I put a non-binding resolution on the ballot that said we don't want to allow the municipalities to be able to charge these people over here more just because they live outside the city limits. It passed overwhelmingly. And then when I talked to LaToya, who I'm running against, she'd like to never return my call. Hoffman did return my call, and I sat down and talked with him, but he wouldn't do anything about it. So I just think it's unfair for somebody to be charged more just because you live 1 block away. So I've had a little experience in that project too.
Stance on 2A?
Pardon me?
2A stance, guns, red flag laws?
I'm glad you mentioned that. Red flag laws, I think, is a terrible idea because it's very simple. My neighbor gets mad at me, says, hey, I think Dave's a problem. Go before a judge, and he says, okay, I agree. We'll take it for a year. That's garbage. And what was the other thing? What was it?
Just 2A in general, any
Yeah, oh, no.
regulation at all? You're completely open to leaving it as it was written?
Leave it alone. I'm from the old school that, you know, when I went to school, we had rifles in the back of the pickups. You know, there wasn't any mass shootings or anything back then. I mean, we were raised around guns. I've never shot anybody. So, you know, it's kind of crazy to try to get rid of something that only the people that are criminals anyway, they're going to get them. So I want to be able to protect myself and my family.
And then I guess the biggest follow-up question would be if you were elected, you're going to be coming into a heck of a mess of about $240 billion pension
Right.
Issue. This is something that's, especially you're hitting on the fact that you're good with the revenue, you're good with the numbers. This is something that is #1 needs addressed.
It is.
You're in a state where you're not going to be able to solve it with a bankruptcy because it's not allowed. So
No.
municipalities, you got Chicago looking at calling bankruptcy. You can't have it. You're trying to narrow it down to each individual location to declare bankruptcy on their own, and that's what it's coming down to. With most municipalities are starting off with millions of dollars of debt at the beginning of their fiscal year.
But in looking at that, in doing budgets and looking at the budgets, first you got to see where you can cut. Eliminate a lot of spending, all right? You know, they talk about the tax increase, the road tax. I don't mind paying it if it's being used for the right purposes. But there should be something else taken out over here that we don't need. So we can do that. Pensions, it was promised. I mean, you renegotiate for the new people coming in. You renegotiate that. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's killing Illinois. Matter of fact, we are #2 out of all the states that's losing population. The only one before us is New Jersey.
And it's probably going to overtake that by the 2020.
Yeah. And if J.B. Pritzker gets his way with, you know, with the progressive tax, we're all in trouble. So, yeah.
I'm spearheading the anti-progressive tax.
So you know, they say, Dave, you're a politician. No, I'm not. I want to be out of your pocket instead of in it. I want more work with less money coming in. Prioritize. We don't spend the money in the township if we don't have it. Pure and simple. We buy equipment when we have the money that we pay for it. We also had a grant, we applied for a grant for 230-some thousand or close to that for a project in our parks. We didn't get the grant. So we didn't go borrow the money and do it. We put it off till next year so we can file for another grant. And then if we get the grant, we'll do it. Because we have to put the money out first before we get the grant money back in. That's just the way that works. So, nah, I'm very conservative when it comes to looking at something like that. Pensions, you know, people were promised that. They worked for it. They had an idea they were going to get it. You know, you change that. You change that through negotiations, or you well, I mean, I'll be getting in trouble. There shouldn't be any public unions at all.
In that case, probably best just listen to my road.
Yeah, I'll listen. Go ahead.
Which would be simply, you're going to have to negotiate.
That's right.
I would highly suggest a 5 to 10% cut, loss of health benefits to that degree right there. That way you're still getting something, because of Chapter 13 or bankruptcy for any community is going to end up in St. Louis style, and you're not going to get a darn thing. Zero. Something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
And then the other solution is in a state that's got the highest revenue of any of the states, but the most in debt. Consolidation. You've got tons and tons of school consolidation that needs to be done. Administration. You've got townships that are just being overwhelmingly high.
Right.
You've got a ton of problems. And instead of negotiating completely for everything, thinking that's the only solution, there should be absolutely no movement towards any new legislation until this is fixed or repealed of the old legislation.
Right.
The problem isn't what needs to be made yet. The problem is to be fixed what's already happened. Right. There's way too big of a book with too many laws that are creating too many loopholes that have allowed too many things like this to slip through. We need to go back, we need to fix those problems, and then we need to get rid of all the bodies of entities and heck of a lot of committees that are in this state at a higher rate of pay for somebody that meets about 4 hours a year.
Right. When you talk about eliminating a lot of the different bodies, and it is in the process. The movement is to get rid of townships. All right, we got rid of Belleville Township because it was coterminous with Belleville. All right, they did the same thing as the township. They didn't need the two. Now then, they passed a law that said if you're a road commissioner and if you take care of less than 15 miles of roads, up in McHenry County, I believe is where it was at. They can put it before the electors and dismantle the road district, the road commissioner, and put it into the county. The problem is where this has been done, the county doesn't want it. They don't want to take over our roads. They don't want to take over my sewer plant. They don't want to take over my parks because they're already stretched. And whenever you want to talk to me, or supervisor of a township, you call me. I will return the calls, or you come into my office and talk to me. Try that with Mark Kern and all that.
County level ballot anyway, that's for sure, because some counties can afford it, some
Yeah.
counties can't, that's for
Right.
sure. There's the definite need for some situations.
Yeah.
We're in a rural city where townships basically cover 5 200-person towns.
Yeah.
It isn't needed for a township because that is exactly what the township was intended for in the original frontier days, was to be able to get people's information back and forth. That's what the township was created for. Since then, the mobile highway system, the great and higher interstate system, has done away with a lot of that need. So you're living in a lot of 1700 rules in the 21st century, so a lot of that can be condemned.
Going back to the conversation that we were having before the meeting began about the crosswalk, the township, well, it's not our responsibility, it's the state's responsibility. Well, you know, the certain place we're talking about is in Caseyville, it's in Caseyville Township, is in the Madison County, it's in the state of Illinois, and nobody wants to be responsible for it. It seems to me that if none of those people are responsible for it, we can get rid of at least 1 or 2 of those entities of government because nobody's responsible.
Yeah. We have a similar situation with West Boulevard.
Yeah.
You know, that's state. That's not township or county, that's state. All right? Try to get something done by the state. It's tough. It's tough. You got to jump through, I don't know, knocking on doors. One of the ladies said, hey, my street lights burn out here. She said, I've called and I've called and I've called and I've called. I can't get anybody to fix it. Well, fortunately, I made a call to Ameren, and within a couple of weeks it was fixed. But that's where your township people are more available for problems than a lot of your county and state workers. You can come to the top. You can talk to my road commissioner. You can talk to me. Now, you may not like the answer you get, but at least you can talk to us. We're there and we return calls. That's all you got. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate your time. So have a good evening. Oh, you're welcome.